Good evening and welcome to the regular meeting of the Frankfort Village Board. Tonight is Monday, September 19th, 2022. And we call this meeting to order. And we do have a request for electronic attendance and participation, which is in our ordinance to do so. First, we'll go to our clerk for Katie Schubert for the roll call for quorum.
Thank you, Mayor Ogle. Yes, in accordance with our village ordinance, I did receive an electronic attendance request from Trustee Petro. Can she hear us right now? Is she? Okay, Trustee Petro, we can see you on the video. Will you please state your reason for not being physically present tonight?
I am out of town for employment reasons.
Thank you. All right, now I'll call the roll. Mayor Ogle?
Here.
Trustee Ledden?
Here.
Trustee Severia?
Here.
Trustee Farina?
Here.
Trustee Borelli? Trustee Rossi?
Here.
We do have a physical quorum present tonight, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Now, in order to actually have participation, the board needs both a quorum and also then to vote to allow participation. So can I get a motion to allow the trustee to participate electronically?
So moved.
Motion by Trustee Savaria, second by Trustee Rossi. Is there any discussion? And then we'll go to our clerk, Katie Schubert. And tonight, because of the electronic participation, everything will be a roll call vote. So we'll go to our clerk, Katie Schubert.
Trustee Ledden?
Yes.
Trustee Savaria?
Yes.
Trustee Farina?
Yes.
Trustee Rossi?
Yes.
Do I have to? Okay. All right, motion passes.
Okay, thank you. At this time, would everyone please stand with me and we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So the first item on here is what's called the unanimous consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda are considered to be routine in nature and will be enacted in one single motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a board member so requests, in which event that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. At this time, I ask if anyone would like to remove any of the items from the consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor, can we pull number 3, OPA major PUD change?
Okay, Trustee Savaria has requested D3 to be removed.
Mayor,
Is there any other, I'm sorry.
we're just supposed to do another roll call with, include Trustee Petro.
Okay.
Roll call.
Sorry.
All right.
We'll back up real quick. Oh, perfect. Okay. So we'll do one more roll call and make sure and include Trustee Petro this time, now that we've completed that motion. So Trustee Ledden?
Here.
Trustee Savaria?
Here.
Trustee Farina?
Here.
Trustee Rossi?
Here.
Trustee Borelli? Here. And Trustee Petro?
Here.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Well, we're back to the unanimous consent agenda.
Yes.
So, Trustee Savari has asked that we remove item D3 from that consent agenda. Were there any other items that want to be requested to be removed? Okay. Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda with D3 removed?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Trustee Farina. We have a second by Trustee Savaria. We are going to go through these items so that people that are in the audience at home watching later will be able to follow along and know what we're voting on. You should know what your government is doing and what you're voting on. It's also available on our website in case anyone wants to follow along. The complete packets are there. So the first item would be the approval of the minutes from the regular meeting on September 6th, 2022. If there are no corrections or changes to that, we will move on to Trustee Savaria with the approval of the bills and payroll.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Bills tonight equal $1,431,592.35. This is comprised of the general corporate fund at $263,868.58. The capital development fund at $4,898.41. Sewer and water operations and maintenance at $68,136.85. And then the majority of this was the sewer and water extension fund at $1,094,688.51, which was our wastewater treatment loan payment. That's my report.
Thank you, Trustee Savaria. Next item on here is one of the Committee of the Whole report items, and we'll go to Trustee Burley.
Sorry, Mayor, is disposal of surplus vehicles?
Yes.
Okay.
C1, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mayor. At September 22nd meeting, the Committee of the Whole considered a request from the Police Department to dispose of 2 squad cars that are no longer useful in the daily operations of the village. The 2013 and 2015 Ford Explorers were previously assigned to the Patrol Division and have been stripped of police markings, equipment, and parts. The surplus vehicles will be sent to Joliet U-Pullet for disposal as scrap metal. It was a consensus of the committee to forward a recommendation to the village board authorizing the disposal of the surplus vehicles. The motion before us tonight is to accept the recommendation of the Committee of the Whole, waive the first and second readings, and pass an ordinance authorizing the disposal of certain surplus property owned by the village of Frankfort, Will and Cook Counties, Illinois.
Thank you, Trustee Burley. Next item on here, we'll go to Trustee Farina for the 2 items under St. Francis Road.
Thanks, Mayor Ogle. The following items are regarding the St. Francis Road resurfacing project. The first one is an IDOT resolution for improvement under the Illinois Highway Code. The second one is IDOT Local Public Agency Engineering Services Agreement. The Village of Frankfort has been awarded a Surface Transportation Program, otherwise known as STP, grant for the resurfacing of St. Francis Road between Route 45 and 88th Avenue. The STP funding will cover 80% of the construction costs, which is scheduled for the 2024 construction season. As part of this project, the Illinois Department of Transportation requires local public agencies to formally adopt a resolution for improvement under the Illinois Highway Code and Local Public Agency Engineering Services Agreement. This IDOT resolution authorizes the use of motor fuel tax funds in the amount of $76,000 to cover the estimated costs of Phase 1 and Phase 2 design engineering, including pavement cores for resurfacing of St. Francis Road. It was the consensus of the committee to forward a recommendation to the village board to approve the IDOT resolution and authorize the appropriation of motor fuel tax funds for the roadway improvement project. The motion before us this evening is to accept the recommendation of the Committee of the Whole and adopt a resolution authorizing the execution of an IDOT resolution for improvement under the Illinois Highway Code and a local public agency engineering services agreement for an appropriation of $76,000 in motor fuel tax funds for Phase 1 and Phase 2 design engineering services, including pavement cores for the resurfacing of St. Francis Road from US Route 45 to 88th Avenue. And that is it, Mayor Ogle.
Okay, and Trustee, if you do the, sorry, we get A and B? You did, okay, thank you. Now we will go to Trustee Rossi for the next item on here.
2022 Sanitary Sewer Lining Project Contract Award. Staff presented the Committee of the Whole with the results of the 5 bids received for the 2022 Sanitary Sewer Lining Project. Consulting engineer for the project, Baxter and Woodman, analyzed each of the bids and found Visu Sewer of Illinois, LLC, to be the lowest and responsive bidder in the amount of $369,310. The project consists of the rehabilitation of approximately 6,000 linear feet of sanitary sewer in the Prestwick subdivision and industrial area. It was the consensus of the committee to forward a recommendation to the village board to accept the low bid and award the contract to Visu Sewer of Illinois. Motion before us tonight is to accept the recommendation of the Village of Frankfort and adopt a resolution authorizing the execution of a contract with Visu Sewer of Illinois, LLC, related to the 2022 Sanitary Sewer Lining Project for the rehabilitation of approximately 6,000 linear feet of sanitary sewer in the Prestwick subdivision and industrial area in the amount of $369,310. Mr. Mayor?
Thank you, Trustee Rossi. Now we'll go back to Trustee Farina for the next item.
Great. The next item is the Illinois Transportation Enhancement Program, ITEP, grant, Sauk Trail Bike Path Project approval and resolution. The Illinois Department of Transportation is accepting applications for the Illinois Transportation Enhancement Program, otherwise known as ITEP, as part of the Rebuild Illinois Capital Plan. $125 million in funding is available. Projects eligible for funding include biking and walking paths, trails, streetscape beautification work, and other improvements designed to encourage safe travel across various modes of transportation at the local level. The ITEP is a reimbursable grant program, and federal funds will provide reimbursement up to 50% for right-of-way and easement acquisition costs, and up to 80% for preliminary engineering, utility relocations, construction engineering, and construction costs. The maximum award is $3 million per project. The village's consulting engineer and village staff are coordinating to submit an ITEP grant application for the Sauk Trail Bike Path to complete a 1-mile gap in the village's existing trail network. This project would connect the existing bike/walking path on the east side of Pfeiffer Road to the intersection of Sauk Trail and 80th Avenue, directly across from Chelsea Intermediate School. The estimated total project cost is $1,430,000, of which an appropriation of village capital funds in the estimated amount of $286,000 will be used to defray the village's local share of the project. The deadline to submit the ITEP application is September 30th, 2022, and awards will be announced next year. At the September 14th Committee of the Whole meeting, it was the consensus of the committee to forward a recommendation to the village board to adopt a resolution in support of the village's application for ITEP funding and the appropriation of Village of Frankfort capital funds for the Sauk Trail Bike Path. I do not have a motion on here.
I'm sorry.
Thanks. Earlier this evening, the village held an open house for the proposed Sauk Trail Bike Path project. Members of the public were invited to view maps of the proposed project and speak with village staff and village's engineering consultant. In fact, there were a room full of residents here this evening, about 20. Rob Pisha, our village administrator, was present, as well as Mike Schwartz, our community development director. It's encouraged, if you're supportive of this project or you have any comments, to please email Mike Schwartz. You can find his contact information on our website, and he will collect those and submit them with our grant application. The motion before us this evening is to accept the recommendation of the Committee of the Whole and adopt a resolution in support of the Village of Frankfort's application to the Illinois Department of Transportation for funding under the Illinois Transportation Enhancement Program grant for the Sauk Trail Bike Path project, and authorizing the appropriation of village capital funds in the estimated amount of $286,000 for the local sponsor's share of the project costs. And it is all before us this evening, Mayor Ogle.
Thank you, Trustee Farina. Now we'll go to Trustee Ledden for a Plan Commission item.
Thank you. So the item is the Curley Residence Multiple Variances and Final Plat Approval, located at 25 Carpenter Street. Applicant John Curley requests the granting of multiple variances for a proposed addition and remodel of his existing home located at 25 Carpenter Street in the Old Town area. The applicant also requests final plat approval of the 25 Carpenter Street subdivision to combine underlying lots. The applicant seeks approval of the following variances. 1, a front yard setback variance from 30 feet to 10.2 feet. 2, a side yard setback variance from 25 feet with no less than 10 feet on each side to 19.4 feet with no less than 9.1 feet on each side. And 3, lot coverage variance from 20% to 29%. And 4, building materials variance from the required masonry requirement to permit the use of non-masonry siding on the first floor. At the September 8th, 2022 public hearing on the project, the Plan Commission forwarded 4 unanimous recommendations to the Village Board to approve the variance request and a unanimous recommendation to approve the plat of re-subdivision. The first motion before us is to accept the Plan Commission recommendations, waive the first and second readings, and pass an ordinance granting the following zoning variances to the property located at 25 Carpenter Street for a proposed addition and remodel of the existing residential home. A front yard setback variance from 30 feet requirement to 10.2, a side yard setback variance from the 25-foot requirement to 19.4 feet, a lot coverage variance from 20% to 29%, and a building materials variance to permit the use of non-masonry siding on the first floor, all in accordance with the reviewed plans, public testimony, and finding of facts. The second motion before us is to accept the Plan Commission recommendation and approve the 25 Carpenter Street subdivision final plat prepared by M. Gingrich, Garreau and Associates, dated 8/18/2022, in accordance with the reviewed plans and then subject to any necessary technical revisions prior to recording. That's it. Thank goodness. Thank you.
Thank you, trustee. Now we'll go to trustee Borelli.
Thank you, Mayor. The next item is the Fashion Forward, saying that right? Venues LLC special use permit for indoor entertainment, 20871 South LaGrange Road ordinance. The applicants, Marlon and Kristen Fashion, am I saying that right? Faison, I'm sorry, thank you. Marlon and Kristen Faison propose to operate an event center space located at 20871 South LaGrange Road within the Butera Center Plaza. The space would be used for social and corporate events for up to 50 guests. The applicants request the granting of a special use permit for indoor entertainment to accommodate the business operation in the B2 Community Business District. The applicants are not seeking a liquor license in conjunction with this use. At the September 8th, 2022 public hearing on the project, the Plan Commission forwarded a unanimous recommendation to the Village Board to approve the special use request subject to conditions. The motion before us tonight is to accept the Plan Commission recommendation, waive the first and second readings, and pass an ordinance granting a special use permit for indoor entertainment event space to the property located at 20871 South LaGrange Road within the Butera Center Plaza to permit the business operation of Faison Forward venues in accordance with the reviewed plans, public testimony, and finding of fact, with the following conditions. Soundproofing on the east and west walls shall be installed to the ceiling of the building, and loud music must end by 8 p.m. from Sunday through Thursday and by 10 p.m. on Friday and Saturday.
Thank you, trustee Borelli. Those were the items that are on the unanimous consent agenda. And at this, we have a motion and a second already. Is there any discussion on these items?
Mayor, I'd just like to bring up the open house prior to the meeting regarding the Sauk Trail project. I think that's a great project. As indicated by the turnout, there was a few dozen people here, asked a lot of great questions. So it was good to see, and I'm grateful that staff did this. It wasn't required, but we did it anyway, just to, increase the optics of it. So good turnout. It's gonna be a great project. Hope we get it.
Okay. Thank you, trustee. Any other discussion on this consent agenda? Okay. Then we will go to our clerk, Katie Schubert, for the vote.
Thank you. Trustee Ledden.
Yes.
Trustee Savaria.
Yes.
Trustee Farina.
Yes.
Trustee Borelli.
Yes.
Sorry. Trustee Rossi.
Yes.
Trustee Petro.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. Thank you, clerk. We have removed one item from that consent agenda at the request of trustee Savaria, and that is the OPA major PUD change. And trustee Savaria.
You want me to go ahead and read
Why don't you
this?
go ahead and read
then we'll
this?
discuss?
Yes.
Okay, number 3 is OPA, major PUD change to the Brookside Commons Plan Unit Development 10235 West Lincoln Highway Ordinance. Applicant George Carunzos proposes a building addition and relocation of the outdoor patio for existing OPA restaurant located at 10235 West Lincoln Highway within the Brookside Commons development. The project would involve enclosing the existing 670 square foot patio and constructing a new 324 square foot outdoor seating area adjacent to it. To accommodate the proposed improvements, the applicant requests granting of a major PUD change. At the September 8th public hearing on the project, the commissioners reviewed the proposed major PUD change to the Brookside Commons development and forwarded a split 4-1 recommendation to the village board to approve the major PUD, subject to final engineering approval and the restaurant not opening before 3 p.m. The applicant was amenable to not opening before 3 p.m. Monday through Friday. The dissenting vote was because of the proposed patio and additional seating request. The motion before us is to accept the Plan Commission's recommendation, waive the first and second reading, and pass on the ordinance approving a major PUD change to the Brookside Commons Plan Unit Development to permit exterior renovations of the building and corresponding enclosure of the existing outdoor patio and construction of a new outdoor seating area to accommodate the business operation of OPA Restaurant at 10235 West Lincoln Highway in accordance with the reviewed plans and public testimony conditioned upon the final engineering approval, and restaurant shall not open before 3 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Okay. There was no one present from OPA tonight, or from our planning commission or staff. So there are a couple things we could do at this point. There's a PUD. One is we could table this so that they have an opportunity, since this was on a consent agenda and pulled off, that they have the opportunity to address this. Or we can go ahead and vote it. I'm not comfortable voting if I have to vote on this one without having their input.
I'm okay putting this off, giving...
Do we need a second? Was there a motion?
There hasn't been a motion yet. I'm sorry, there's the motion that was read.
Yeah.
So
There was a
Trustee
motion.
Savaria,
I was just saying that I would be okay putting this off and giving them a chance to amend it. I think that's the right thing to do.
okay. All right. We don't have a second yet on the motion you read, so.
I'll second it.
George, what's the
Motion second to table to our next regular meeting.
okay. So we have we'll need a motion to table this to our next regular meeting.
I'll move to motion to table to our next meeting.
Okay.
Second.
Trustee Farina, and a second by Trustee Savaria. Okay. Is there? I'm sorry, I was gonna ask if there's any discussion.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
Okay.
I don't know, before we table, I don't know if we can discuss it once we have the motion and second to table. I just wanna make sure we can talk about it before we table, so. We're good to discuss,
Certainly.
Attorney Mahoney?
Typically, when it's, there's a motion to table, it's the priority motion to vote on. So,
Okay.
but informally, I'm sure that if there's some discussion that you would like to have, that it would be considered.
Sure. Since the applicant is not here, and this was on a consent agenda, if there's issues, we should allow them to address that, and we can address if you have some. But I think that,
I agree, I just wanna make sure those issues are conveyed to them somehow, so I'm not sure how to do that if we're not gonna discuss them up here.
to staff,
Okay.
I think directly to staff. Would
I
that
think
make,
it's a good best practice, whether it's on a consent agenda or not, that we're communicating that applicant should be present too.
that's entirely up to the applicant. So we have a motion and a second to table this to our next regular meeting. Can we go to our clerk? Katie Schubert for the vote.
Trustee Ledden,
Yes.
Trustee Savaria,
Yes.
Trustee Farina,
Yes.
Trustee Borelli,
Yes.
Trustee Rossi,
Yes.
and Trustee Petro.
Yes.
Okay. So that item is tabled to the next meeting. And staff will be in contact. Any of your comments, or certainly can, we'd want to make sure that that is conveyed to them. Next item on here is the mayor's report. Our cruise in Frankfort ends their season on September 26th. Our country market will continue every Sunday in downtown Frankfort from 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock through October 30th. Join our Frankfort Police Department for a country market with a cop on Sunday, September 25th, and that's from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. This is a family-friendly event, and it's an opportunity to meet members of the police department. We also have a new event that we have that's a reworking of the 5K that has been around for many years. But so they want you to run, walk, creep, or crawl in your favorite Halloween costume through Prairie Park for the Scary on the Prairie, a 5K and a spooky sprint, which will be located in downtown Frankfort on Saturday, October 22nd. It's the week before the trunk or treat. So there'll be a 100-yard dash for 5 and under that starts at 10:30, a 1-mile fun run, which is for 10-year-olds and younger, and that starts at 10:40, and then there's a 5K, which is a run and walk for all ages, and that starts at 11 o'clock. And you can come in costume or not come in costume, whichever you choose. Have some fun with it. Participants are encouraged to stay after the race and enjoy refreshments and entertainment at Brighter Green. Details and online registration are available at the village website, which is frankfortil.org. We want to congratulate Chelsea Intermediate School 157C. They are the 2022 National Blue Ribbon winners for academic excellence. There are only 17 of these that have been received in Illinois, and it's tremendous. We have tremendous schools here. We're very proud of what they do, the teachers, the staff, the parents who support it, and their administration. So thank you very much. Just two real quick shout outs. One is to Andy Pavlaka, who sent a beautiful photo in for the village. Said that we could use it any way we wanted. It's a beautiful photo of the Arrowhead Bridge in the sunset, beautiful background, which is very nice of him to send this in. So thank you very much, Andy. And then also want to wish Josie a happy 90th birthday. That's all I have for the mayor's report tonight. And we'll go to our clerk, Katie Schubert, for board comments.
Thank you, Mayor Ogle. As a staff member at Chelsea, we are very excited about our blue ribbon, so thank you for mentioning that. Moving on to elections, we have a lot of things coming up. So there will be 3 trustee seats elected in the April 4th, 2023 consolidated election. Any resident seeking election to one of the 3 trustee seats can begin circulating petitions tomorrow, September 20th, 2022. Petition packets with more information are available here at Village Hall Monday through Friday from 8 to 5 p.m. Or a 2023 candidate guide is also available online at elections.il.gov. And that's all I have today.
Thank you. Trustee Ledden.
Thank you. Congratulations to Chelsea on that fine accomplishment, and in the spirit of continuing to learn, thank you to the village for sponsoring me being able to go to IML this year. It was interesting and informative, so I appreciate that opportunity. That's all I have.
Thank you. Trustee Savaria.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd just like to congratulate my daughter and my son-in-law, who they're going to be expecting, and I'll be a grandfather for the first time. So that's all I had.
Congratulations. Trustee Farina.
Congratulations, Grandpa.
Thank you.
It's very exciting. I just want to give a shout out to the Will County Forest Preserve. They hosted their Old Plank Trail celebration on Saturday right here in Frankfort. They chose our community, and it was a lovely time. KISS FM was down on the green. We had our officers there as well, giving out information, and we had Mayor Ogle coasting with the kids and the cops as well with Run with the Mayor.
Right?
Yeah, you had a good following there. So it was a really nice celebration. It was fun. A lot of people were picking it up and coming on the green and participating. And the Old Plain Trail is a great amenity for Frankfort, and it keeps our community together. So it ties in with everything. And that's it, Mayor Ogle.
Thank you. You were the Jenga champion on the, I thought so too.
My boys are the Jenga champion. They beat Mom. Both of them beat Mom. We're pretty competitive in our family, so they did good.
That was a lot of fun, what they brought out there too. So, Trustee Petro.
Thank you, Mayor. Congratulations to our Lincoln Way East Griffins. Their homecoming victory night dominated 42-0, and had a lot of fun seeing all the Facebook posts and everyone celebrating. It looked like homecoming was back to normal this year after a couple years of some revised plans. So it was really nice to see everyone out and celebrating that this weekend. I also wanted to comment on IML this year. Again, it's great to see the different sessions that are available. I really enjoyed attending a few of them and taking down some notes. I always have the opportunity to learn and bring back some items. So I was hoping that we could schedule maybe a debrief session at one of our next committee of the whole from some of the lessons that we've been able to learn. I think they post some of the recorded sessions and notes too, if anyone wasn't able to attend, but I think a couple good pearls that we might be able to take back. And I know we were able to implement a few things from last year. So thanks again for the village for supporting that continuing education. That's all. Thank you.
Trustee Borelli.
Thank you, Mayor. congratulations to Chelsea on the Blue Ribbon Award. It's a huge accomplishment. And then I wanted to bring up the Illinois Municipal League Conference again. It is a wonderful education experience for elected officials, for staff, great for networking. One of the sessions I was able to attend it had to do with the Safety Act, which is obviously a hot topic, and with the concerns with it. And I'm not an expert in this at all. I did attend a session on Saturday where there was a pretty crowded field, and it's a very the IML is very. It's all about facts. It's not political. It's as unpolitical as you can get it, right? So they invited several people to this session, including a number of department heads from the state that would be will be involved with the rollout of the Safety Act when it's implemented in January 1st, 2023. My understanding is that all these people had confirmed, and then on Thursday, 2 days before the session, they all canceled, which is unfortunate and sad because regardless of whether or not you agree with the intent of the law, there is nearly unanimous consent on the language as written is not good, and it's a disaster. And there's across the aisle, including a number of Democratic state's attorneys and one that was at the session expressing her concern on what this is going to mean if there's not a legislative fix, which is common in the state of Illinois when massive legislation is jammed through without an opportunity to be vetted. So they have already had 2 trailer bills when this was originally passed back in February 2021. But this third one is necessary really to get this just to where it makes sense, because without it, what I heard was that the court systems are going to be in big trouble. As of that meeting on Saturday, they were not currently negotiating, but there was indications that they would be willing to start talking soon. There's not a whole lot of time left. I will say the people there were very smart. There was the chief from, I think he's from Lamont. He's a member of the negotiations with the Illinois Chiefs Association, very sharp guy. All the people on this panel were very sharp. They cared very much whether or not, again, they agreed with the intent of the law. They wanted to make sure that everyone read it the same way, that you can't have a law where 102 state's attorneys are interpreting it 102 different ways, right? So my takeaway, the reason I bring this up is my takeaway is that they still seemed optimistic that they would be able to pass the trailer bill. But I think at some point, it's going to be up to the state legislator to vote on it, first of all, to make progress on it and then to vote on it. And when that time comes, the residents' voice may need to be heard to push for support for this trailer bill when in fact it is ready to go. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Trustee Burley. Trustee Rossi.
Okay, hopefully this will be a little bit lighter, because that's the heavy stuff. I just want to remind everybody, Lincoln Way East is having their fall play. It's called Theory of Relativity. It's the 24th and the 24th September, 1st of October at 7 p.m. They always do a fantastic job, and I would recommend if you get a chance to try to attend the play. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Trustee Rossi. Just to piggyback very quickly on Trustee Borelli's comment, both our village administrator and our assistant for the past 2 years have we've been in contact with our legislators, lobbying them, sending them requests to not have passed what ended up going out in the Safety Act. We don't want to draw this. This is not a focus on Frankfort, but our Will County State's Attorney Jim Glasgow, I've been in contact with him over the last couple weeks, and he filed a lawsuit against the governor and the Attorney General to block this. And Jim Rowe, who's also the Kankakee County State's Attorney, on Friday, I believe, also filed a lawsuit on the unconstitutionality of it. So there will be more information that's coming forward, but we are looking to support our Will County State's Attorneys and our police as they're the ones on the forefront of this, but it just makes our communities less safe, and there are some reforms that could be done. So we'll go to our village administrator, Rob Pisha.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I had mentioned at a previous meeting about the Old Plank Trail being resurfaced. I was actually supposed to start this week. They are delayed. They're working on a project in Joliet right now. So it looks like it'll be delayed by a couple of weeks, and then they're supposed to start the trail beginning at Harlem and working their way to the west. So hopefully near the beginning of October, and obviously that is subject to weather when you're doing resurfacing. So hopefully we'll see the whole trail get redone. And just also wanted to mention the open house for our ITEP grant. Thank all the residents that came out to support that program, that public open house that we had prior to this meeting. And also want to encourage anyone who wants to send letters of support. We will attach them to our application and just get those to Mike Schwartz, and we will give them to Van from Robinson Engineering to get to attach to our application. So it was great to see the public come out and support. So it's a great piece of if we could get that part of the trail completed. So. And that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Rob. And now we go to our police chief, Leanne Chalupis.
Thank you, Mayor. Also, thank you for mentioning our country market with a cop this Sunday. Again, Mayor gave a great overview of it, but it is just a nice opportunity to meet the men and women of the Frankfort Police Department. We'll have some police vehicles out there for kids to sit inside, and some nice handout information as well. In addition to that, I just would like to remind our residents to close overhead garage doors, lock their vehicles, lock doors, and never leave key or key fobs inside of your vehicles. And that's all I have tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Now we go to our attorneys for the attorney's report.
No report tonight. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you, Hannah. Is there any other business we need to bring before the board? Yes.
I wanted to ask about, now that we've moved forward with 7 North White Street again, I want to ask about 2 Smith Street, if there's been any follow-up, sorry, can't see staff. If there's been any feedback from the one remaining applicant, Plesha.
No additional information has been provided.
Okay, at some point, do we want to put this on a committee agenda to perhaps withdraw or just close out the process?
We should bring it back for a discussion in committee. Trustee Burley, I agree.
Okay.
So that we can close and move forward, decide where it's going to go. Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else? Okay. Hearing no other business, we'll go to public comment. Is there anyone who would like to come before the board and make a public comment at this time? Okay. Hearing none. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Farina, is a second? Trustee Savaria? Okay, and we'll need to go to our clerk, Katie Schubert, for the roll call vote.
That's right. Trustee Ledden,
Yes.
Trustee Saveria,
Yes.
Trustee Farina,
Yes.
Trustee Burley,
Yes.
Trustee Rossi,
Yes.
Trustee Petro.
Yes.
Okay.
Carries.
Meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everyone.